Hello students, this is Miss McGowan, and for this video clip we are discussing and learning about signposts that we call contrast and contradictions. So as you know, that signpost is when you are reading and a character says or does something that's opposite or contradicts what he or she has been saying all along. So at that time you need to stop and ask yourself, why is this character doing that? The answer could help you make a prediction or make an inference about the plot and conflict. So we are going to look at a couple of different clips, all from the beginning of Star Wars, of course, Episode VII, The Force Awakens. So in these clips, we find that Stormtrooper FN2187, who we later will refer to as Finn, we find out that he doesn't act like a stormtrooper. So if you know what you should know is that stormtroopers are built and bred to fight for the Empire. They don't ask questions. They don't even think for themselves. They are trained to fight and to protect the Empire. So that's what stormtroopers do. That's why they all look alike. They're all in the white outfit. They have no identifying marks. And because they're not meant to be individuals, they're meant to be an army. So that's what stormtroopers are. Well, we meet FN2187 and we find out that he contradicts what stormtroopers do. So let's start with this first clip. So in this shot, of course, you can see that all of the stormtroopers look exactly alike. And that's pretty much the purpose of stormtroopers, is that they're not supposed to be individuals. They're supposed to just work cohesively as one unit to protect the Empire. So we could see in that clip that one of the stormtroopers just witnessed his friend die, which already is a contrast because stormtroopers don't have friends, right? But he witnessed his friend die, and then his friend puts his bloody handprint on his helmet, which marks that one stormtrooper as standing out. And so now we can kind of follow him around and know which one is that one. But also right after his friend died and put the handprint on his helmet, he stood up and he started looking around, and you could tell at that moment that he was changed and that he was kind of confused about everything that was going on. So we'll continue a little here.
Something far worse has happened to you.
You know what I've come for.
I know where you come from. Before you called yourself Kylo Ren.
The map to Skywalker. Give it to the First Order. The old man gave it to you.
It's just very hard to understand you with all the
Search him.
apparatus.
Nothing, sir. Put him on board.
So you can see here in the middle, that's FN 2187, and he's not shooting and not using his weapon. So then Kylo Ren notices that he is different from the others. Okay, and so now we are skipping ahead, and the Stormtroopers are back on base, so follow along.
Ren wants the prisoner. Turn here.
Listen carefully. If you do exactly as I say, I can get you out of here.
What?
This is a rescue. I'm helping you escape. Can you fly a TIE fighter?
You with the resistance?
What? No. I'm breaking you out. Can you fly a TIE
I
fighter?
can fly anything. Why? Why are you helping me?
Because it's the right thing to do.
All right, so right there in that scene, we see that definitely this Stormtrooper is showing a contrast and contradiction moment, because not only back on Jakku did he, not shoot anymore because he saw his friend die, but now he's actually rescuing what would be considered the enemy. He's rescuing Poe, and he makes a very interesting statement. He says that it's the right thing to do, in reference to rescuing Poe. So all these things are contrasts and contradictions. So then he and Poe get into the TIE fighter, and Poe asks him his name, and he says, oh, it's FN 2187. And Poe says, well, I'm not going to call you that. I'm going to call you Finn. So then that gives this Stormtrooper an identity. He's not just a number, he actually has a name, and that changes everything, of course. So we ask ourselves, when a character says or does something opposite from what that he has been saying and doing all along, we need to ask ourselves, why is that character doing that? Well, in this case, there's something different about the Stormtrooper. He actually cares. He actually sees what's going on and doesn't want to participate anymore. He's been born and bred to do this, but somehow during that fight on Jakku, he had a change of heart. And so this results in a series of events that leads him to actually fight for the good side, rather than fighting for the Empire. So he becomes a good guy rather than a bad guy. So that is that. So when we ask ourselves, why is he doing that? And then we can find out a prediction or make an inference. Well, we can infer that he's going to continue to be on the good side. He's going to continue to distance himself from the First Order and actually become a good guy. So there we go. So that is Contrasts and Contradictions. And hopefully you are still looking in your own reading for these moments and noticing them in your individual reading. Okay, so that's all for now. And as always, use the Force.